Madam French Contreras, it looks like we have three. Do you want me to go ahead and get started?
Who do we have on now, Anna?
You, Commissioner Coolidge, and Commissioner Zucker.
Are we expecting vice chair today?
Oh, hi. This is Vice Chair. Let me change my name. It's logged in as the wrong person. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Looks like she's back on. Do you want me to go ahead and get started?
Yes. Hold on. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we have four.
Everyone except for Paddish.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started, Anna.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Ana Armenta. I am the Arizona Racing Commission Secretary. Today is March 7th, 2025. This is the 733rd Arizona Racing Commission meeting taking place via Google Meets. I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Here.
Vice Chair Olson,
Present.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Present.
and Commissioner Paddish is absent. Thank you. We have a quorum. It is 10:04.
Thank you, Anna. Let's call to order the 733rd Arizona Racing Commission meeting. Today is Friday, March 7th. Commissioner Zucker, you've raised your hand. Do you need to state before we get started?
I just needed to make reference that I am present.
Thank you, sir. And I'm just going to warn everybody, we're in the middle of some major housework and I'm locked in the bedroom with 4 dogs. So if it gets chaotic, I do apologize in advance. So let's drop down to B1, continuation of the hearing on the renewal of Turf Paradise's 3-year commercial and teletrack permit. We know that this has been an ongoing situation. On October 28th of 24, December 11th of 24, and January 24th of 25, a 40-day conditional permit was issued, conditioned upon the annual review of the financials by the department and final receipt of the report and completion of submitted repairs. I do notice that we did not get the financials on this matter. Does staff have any updates?
Good morning, Chairwoman, Commissioners, stakeholders, and attendees. My name is Shannon Nelson, and I'm the Deputy Director of Regulation, where I oversee the department's racing division. I'll be speaking on behalf of the department today regarding agenda item B1. The department recommends a continuation of this matter specifically because we are waiting for the finalization of the final report, which we believe will happen very soon. The department previously reported to the commission that the grant closeout is being conducted by the Governor's Office of Strategic Planning and Budget. The work is ongoing. However, the grant closeout is separate from the financial report. The financial consultant is working to finalize the report, and once the department has received and had chance to review, the report will then be forwarded to the commission.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. Do I have any comments from our fellow commissioners? Vice Chair Olson?
Thank you, Madam Chair and Ms. Nelson. My only question is if you have like an estimated time frame. Usually when we think about continuances, we give a certain time frame. So I'm just wondering what the department expects, understanding that we won't hold you to it. We just want to know expectations.
Sure. The department does expect that the report will be any day now, and obviously we'd want to allow for a week or two for the department to review, and then at that point we would distribute to the commission for your review.
So would you say 30 days is sufficient, or do we need to look at 45?
That strictly would be up to you and how you guys refer to legal counsel regarding that, but we do believe that the report will be in our hands in the next few days.
Any other comments or questions from my fellow commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Zucker?
Yes, I wish to confirm that what will be in this department's hands is the ARBA grant accounting, not just the annual financials. Is that correct?
No, sir. The ARPA grant is still under review within the governor's office, and that is expected not to be up for our review or transmission to you guys for quite some time, a few more months. That's through the governor's office. However, strictly we're talking about the financial report that is being conducted, which again should be in our hands hopefully in the next few days.
Thank you for clarifying.
Sure.
On a small interruption, our Commissioner Padish is online. He's having trouble with the login, so I don't know if he's reached out to you or if you can help him. But
He has not, but I did send the links to all of you.
Great. So if we can just recognize that he is part of the meeting, I'd appreciate it.
Is he on by phone?
Yeah, he's apparently on somehow because he's contacting me here on this site. So I don't know if he can raise hands, but yeah, he is reaching out to me on this site. So he is available. He's just having trouble logging in, or at least making himself known. So just as long as we know that he's there. So do I have any comments or questions from Turf Paradise? Is there any other discussion before or emotions on this matter? Commissioner Zucker?
Thank you, Chairwoman. It would be hard to, without having a specific time frame from the governor's office for the grant accounting, it's hard to establish a timeline here for an additional conditional extension. Based on the information provided in the report, it appears that Turf Paradise has done an exceptional job of communicating to the department's staff in reference to repairs and track safety and grounds inspection report. But still pending here is not only the annual report, we still have the grant accounting to consider, and that is part of the renewal of the 3-year commercial and teletrack permit. So may I recommend that we may need to go into executive session here to determine how we move forward. So I'd like to call for executive session.
Is that a motion, Mr. Zucker?
Yes, it is.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Olson. Anna?
Thank you. With the motion by Commissioner Zucker and a second by Vice Chair Olson, I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
and I do see Commissioner Padish in there.
Yes.
There he is.
Great. With a total of 5 yeses, that motion passes and we will go into executive motion. It is 10:12 a.m.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, everyone. We'll get back as soon as we can. Thank you.
Commissioner Zucker, you're on audio in the general session, the regular session.
Looks like everyone is back. Do you want me to go ahead and get started?
Yes, ma'am.
I will do the roll call. Madam Chair Frank Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Present.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Present.
Commissioner Zucker,
Present.
Commissioner Parrish, Commissioner Parrish.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. It is now 10:30 a.m. and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna. All right, we're back on B1. Do we have any additional discussion, questions from the commission? Hearing nothing, we have a challenge with, unfortunately, not having the financials of no fault of Turf Paradise. It's just a processing timeframe issue. Would I have any motions on this matter?
Chair, I'm happy to take the first stab at this motion. I'd like to move to approve a continuation of the hearing on the renewal of Turf Paradise's 3-year commercial IntelliTrack permit for 75 days. However, we would like to hold a status update meeting at our next regularly scheduled commission meeting. And we would like the option to take action at that meeting should all financial statements be in order.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. Just as a point of clarification, Vice Chair, so that would be an agenda item for on our April 11th, correct? Not a
Correct.
separate meeting.
So I would like, my motion is to have a continuation for 75 days. And that's when the hearing notice would be noticed for Turf Paradise. But the regularly scheduled meeting, like you said, Chair, would be when we would have a status update, and we'd like to agendize it so that we can take action if possible and all documentation is in order.
Great. Thank you for that clarification.
And I'll just look to the Assistant Attorney General just to confirm I haven't missed anything that would be important for us to take action.
I would ask whether your motion includes extending the date of expiration for the conditional permit.
Yes, thank you so much for that clarification. The motion would include the extension of the expiration date commensurate with the 75-day continuation.
My
Outstanding.
second stands, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Anna?
Thank you. I have a motion by Vice Commissioner Olson and a second by Commissioner Coolidge. I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Parrish.
Yes.
Thank you. With a total of 5 yeses, that motion passes with conditional approval.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's drop down to B2, which is the request from Turf Paradise to amend their live race day request as submitted to the Arizona Department of Gaming Racing Division for 24-25 race meet, changing the following race day to April 12, 19. I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to read. Maybe I can get some clarification from staff.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is Brian Duncan, Arizona Department of Gaming. Turf Paradise is requesting to change 2 dark day simulcast Saturdays to live race days. They are requesting to change the dates of April 12th and 19th from dark day to live race day. The department does have the employees to cover this date change. So we would recommend approval. This approval would benefit the racing industry as a whole.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion or discussion on this matter?
This is Vice Chair Olson. I'm ready to make a motion unless somebody has a comment. Okay, I'd move to approve the request from Turf Paradise to amend their Life Race Day request as submitted to the Department of Gaming and Racing Division for the 2024-2025 race meet by changing the live racing dates to April 12th and April 19th, and for all the reasons supported on the record.
Thank you, ma'am. Second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Zucker. Anna?
Thank you. I have a motion by Vice Chair Olson and a second by Commissioner Zucker. I will call the roll. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Parrish,
If I'm gonna go any further.
Commissioner Parrish.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Thank you.
so I finished the fence.
Sorry about that. With a total of 5 yeses, thank you. That motion passes.
Thank you, Anna. Dropping down to 3, that's the simulcast agreements pursuant to ARS 1121U for Turf Paradise, Gulfstream Park, Royal Palm Meet, Keeneland, Evangeline Downs, Dubai, and Sandy Ridge. Do I have any comments or concerns from the commission? Do I have an update from Mr. Zucker? Yes.
I'm sorry. Please continue. I was going to make a motion, but we should inquire if staff has further information or insight.
Sure, no problem. Staff, are there any updates from staff on B3A?
Madam Chair, there are no updates. All the contracts have been submitted. All is in order through 1 through 5. The department would recommend the 5112U contracts be approved for Turf Paradise.
Thank you. Commissioner Zucker?
I wish to make a motion to approve the simulcast agreements pursuant to ARS 5-112U for Gulfstream Park Royal, Keeneland, Evangeline Downs, Dubai, and Sandy Ridge at Red Mile.
Thank you, sir. Second. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Coolidge. Anna? Anna, do you want to call roll?
Sorry, I had my mic off.
It's okay.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Zucker and a second by Commissioner Coolidge. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Parrish.
Yes.
With the total of 5 yeses, that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Let's drop down to 4A. This one is the simulcast horse racing import signals pursuant to IHA section 3004A3 for Turf Paradise, for Gulfstream Park Royal Palm Meet, Evangeline Downs, Dubai, and Sandy Ridge at Red Mile. Do I have any concerns, comments, or information from the commissioners? How about an update from staff?
Madam Chair, I did receive the Arizona HBPA approvals. I have not yet had the chance to review those. So the department would recommend, with the items all missing, either the host commission, host horseman, and again, the HBPA approvals. We would recommend that items 1 through 5 be conditionally approved pending the rest of the documentation being received and reviewed from the permittee and reviewed by the department.
Thank you, sir. And I just for the record, I did inadvertently miss referencing Keeneland, which is one of the 5. So with that, do I have any motion from my fellow commissioners? Vice Chair Olson, you want to take a stab at it?
Sure. I'd like to move to conditionally approve agenda item 4A, items 1 through 5, the simulcast horse racing import signals pursuant to IHA Section 3004A3, conditioned upon the department's receipt of the requisite paperwork and to empower the department to act without further commission action.
Second.
Thank you. Go ahead. Mr. Zucker, you raised your hand, or Commissioner Zucker?
Well, thank you. I was going to second it, but at the same moment, Commissioner Pears already provided that second. Thank you.
Okay, we'll give that one to Commissioner Padish.
Oh, boy.
Anna?
Thank you. I have a motion by Vice Chair Olson and a second by Commissioner Padish. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Padish.
Yes.
With a total of 5 yeses, thank you. That motion passes with conditional approval.
Thank you. Let's drop down to C. This is our information reports. Excuse me, our information reports. Let's go to number 1 for track safety report. Mr. Duncan, do you have something for us?
Yes, Madam Chair, I can give a quick update on the monitoring of items at Turf Paradise. Just let me start off by saying good morning to commissioners and stakeholders and attendees. My name is Brian Duncan, Arizona Department of Gaming Racing Enforcement Manager. Again, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to provide a quick update as the Department of Gaming continues to monitor the racing environment and compliance with regulatory and safety standards at Turf Paradise. I'll review some of the items requiring repair and or remedy by Turf Paradise from the letter dated January 21st, 2025, and items mentioned in the last commission meeting, February 10th, which were addressed to Mr. Francia. I know you were provided some information from Mr. Francia, but I'll go over some of the items that we are monitoring. The main track inconsistencies, depth and moisture readings of the track surface from the rail to the rail around the entire track taken by ADG staff continue to show inconsistencies. The department received a copy of moisture readings and daily maintenance from Turf, which also shows these inconsistencies. The water truck's water output is inconsistent from the PTOs, which is the power takeoff. As stated, there are inconsistent moisture readings from the rail to rail, which we believe are a result of the inconsistent water truck outputs. The turf course main issues are both turns still have race wear on them, unevenness throughout the entire surface. It needs to be rolled consistently to address this. Cleaning logs for the grounds. The cleaning logs have been implemented and should continue to be recorded and sent to the department. Appropriate signage enforcement at all entry points. The department continues to observe and identify unlicensed personnel on the backside. Signage still needs to be posted in more areas for restricted access. Turf management has acknowledged that it will post additional signage next week to address this immediate concern while it works on updating its security rules in collaboration with the department. Other areas still of concern are the potholes on the backside still being an issue, standing water still being prevalent in areas up and down the rows. Speakers still need to be maintained and repaired in A, B, C, and D, basically barns 6 through 9 are still out. Turf has shared with the department that this will have to be a larger project conducting during the off season. The horseshoe inspector is still not looking, or is inconsistently looking at shoes for all the races. Lighting on the main track is still inadequate during early morning training hours, but that is being somewhat alleviated by earlier sunrise, especially as we get further into March. Turf management did walk the track with department staff this week to identify the areas where additional lighting has committed to rectify this during the off season. With these points, again, I do want to thank the commission for allowing me to give an update on the conditions of the racing environment at Turf Paradise and the opening or ongoing concerns. The department is still making every effort to maintain open and ongoing communication with the permittee management to address these concerns. Again, I want to thank you and again Turf Paradise for trying to cooperate and help further this for all involved. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. My understanding is Turf is following your suggestions as far as getting these repairs done, correct?
Yes, Madam Chair, they are trying to cooperate with the department and make sure that everything is done. Again, sometimes once they get something done, it may change our questions or our ask of them, but they are trying to cooperate with us.
Thank you. And I think that needs to be recognized that they're making that effort. And when you do have a track that age and that size, things are going to just keep happening. I would like to bring up, I took a quick drive by there and there's some puddles that are literally growing algae. And I've had comments about it. I'm sure you're aware of them. That's going to become more of a concern as the weather warms up and we start having mosquitoes, and then we have West Nile. And so I know we've got a lot going on. I know the lighting is an issue, but if we can look at those potholes and that retained water, it would be a big relief for me personally. So for what that matters. Any other comments, questions from commissioners on this matter? Dr. Gale, you raised your hand.
Thank you, Commissioner French and Contreras. I don't want to interrupt if there's something someone wants to address on Brian's report, but I also wanted to make sure I was able to make my report. Should I go ahead and proceed?
Yes, ma'am. My apologies. Please do so.
Okay. Just generally included in your packet was the updated tracker of horse deaths and breakdowns at the track during this meet. The total through February was 21 horses from all causes. Of those, 9 of them were for other, what we consider other, which is generally illness or accidents on the backside. 7 were during training, and 5 were during racing. Again, 1 quarter horse and 4 thoroughbreds. And the rate for this current meet from November then through February again is 1.11 per 1,000 starts. That's an improvement over last year's meet, which was 1.41. And HISA did just put out their 2024 metric and reported that at HISA tracks, the rate was 0.9 per 1,000 starts. So again, we're pretty well in line in that regard. And so again, I commend everyone at the track for all their hard work and efforts, from the veterinarians and the trainers, the track crew and management, for achieving this standard. The other thing I did just want to touch on, for I believe it was Commissioner Zucker that asked a bit ago about claims and the voided claims. I've done initial work on November and December, and in those months we had 122 horses claimed. Of those, 14 claims were voided. And when I did this work a couple weeks ago, so through mid-February, of the horses that had the void claims, 1 out of 3 had returned to train. 2 out of 3 had been inactive. And I will continue with this work. Again, in January and February, we had 166 horses claimed. 22 of those were voided. Again, there needs to be some time given in terms of how soon I can report on the activity of the horses, because HISA rules restrict them from working for at least 1 week. And they can't work to try to get on. They get put on the vet list for lameness, bled, whatever the reason was that the claim was voided. And there's restrictions on when they can return to training. So there's a bit of a lag time between when the claim gets voided and when we can update the status of the horse, of at least 2 weeks. So I'd be happy to take any questions.
Dr. Gale, thank you so much, and my apologies for overlooking you. I would never do that intentionally. Your information is enlightening and optimistic. I think we're headed in the right direction, even though it's a small increment at a time. But I do commend everybody for all their work. Do I have any comments or questions from my fellow commissioners? Do we want to drop down to C2 budget report?
All right. So hi, this is Andrew Hawks. I'm with the Arizona Department of Gaming. Happy to be here and to share the budget report today with you all. Our cash balance at the end of February was approximately $1.6 million in the racing fund. Our year-to-date revenues were $1.3 million approximately, and they're categorized there by type. Our total expenses year-to-date were approximately $1.34 million, also categorized by type. As a reminder, our spending authority is $2.33 million per year. We're monitoring the fund closely to make sure that we do not exceed that amount. The last 2 items on this slide represent the 2 payments that cover the calendar year 24 HISA assessment. Those are both paid. Next slide, please. This chart represents our spend year to date. And the only thing that this chart is missing this month is it's missed the boxing spend is not yet calculated for the month of February. Next slide, please. And this chart represents the racing fund's cash balance. It dipped quite a bit in February due to that second calendar year 24 HISA assessment payment. And are there any questions about the budget update?
Thank you, Mr. Hawk. What is the anticipated future for this HISA assessment? Because it's my understanding the department is not going to continue to incur that payment, correct?
Madam Chairperson, I do not have the answer to that. I know that different ideas have been floated and that it's in the hands of the legislature and the governor's office at this point. There are different options. There are, RWA rates. There are other funding sources that everybody's working together and looking into. But I think that the last I heard, we will still incur the payment as a department, but we just have to find the funding to be able to offset that.
But we're looking pretty good even having to make that assessment payment. So, all right. Yeah, if you could keep us updated on that as that moves forward.
Certainly will.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments from my fellow commissioners? Otherwise, let's drop down to C3, the legislative update.
And I'll be sharing that as well as Jessica Rosa, our legislative liaison, is in a legislative related meeting right now.
All righty.
Okay. She shared with me that we are on day 54 of the legislative session. And so far, 2 bills have been sent to the governor. Crossover week occurred last week. And Friday, March 28th is the last day for committee hearings in the opposing chamber. To provide an update on legislation specific to the racing industry, SB 1126 was introduced by Senator Thomas T.J. Shope, and it's titled the Equine Economic Improvement Fund. The bill originally failed the Senate on Wednesday with a vote of 15 ayes, 14 nays, and 0 not voting, but then passed on a motion to reconsider with 18 ayes, 11 nays, and 0 not voting. The agency is closely monitoring the progress of SB 1126 and the budget. And if any stakeholders would like to discuss specifics of that bill or potential budget impacts to the racing industry, please feel free to reach out to Jessica Rosa to schedule a meeting. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Hawks. Any questions from my fellow commissioners? All right, let's drop down then to C4, the report on the HISA. Mr. Guessman, are you available?
Yes, good morning, Chairwoman Contreras and Commissioners, staff, Leroy Guessman with the HBPA. I have no updates. We're still waiting for the Supreme Court to make some type of ruling on how they're going to proceed with the case. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Well, I don't know if no news is good news, but let's, any questions from my fellow commissioners? We'll drop down to American Greyhound Racing. Oh, my apologies. I didn't have my mic on. So thank you, Mr. Guessman. I guess no news is good news. Let's drop down to American Greyhound Racing. How about county fairs? Turf Paradise.
Madam Chair, Vincent Francia for Turf Paradise. Briefly, just a second, and to emphasize what Mr. Duncan said, the working relationship between the department and management of Turf Paradise is exactly what is needed for positive results over all the areas, the topics that Mr. Duncan brought up. And we look forward to continuing with these direct communications. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for all your diligent work. We appreciate it, and it shows. Any questions from my fellow commissioners?
Can I make one comment?
Absolutely. Oh, is this Mr. Sims?
It is. Thank you, Director. Thank you, Chairwoman.
Yes, sir.
Chair Lady, and thank you, Commissioners. The point you brought up about the standing water and the potholes, I can assure you that Mr. Mayor is dealing with those, and we'll get those dealt with.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I know you've got a lot on your plate right now, and it's appreciated very, very much. Any comments, questions from my fellow commissioners to Turf Paradise? Otherwise, let's drop down to C6, optional industry stakeholder association updates. Arizona Counties Racing Association. It was a slow day. How about 6B, Quarter Horse Association?
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Lloyd Yother, the Arizona Quarter Racing Association President and the President of the Arizona Horsemen's Benevolence and Protection Association. I'd like to cover B and D if it suits the chair.
Absolutely, sir.
Again, Lloyd Yother with Arizona HPPA and Quarter Horses. In consideration of time, I feel the sufficient coverage was given by Mr. Duncan on the issues at Turf Paradise and what needs to be taken care of in a swift and effective manner. So I would just say that we're all on the same page and trying to do the right thing and get this thing in order for future racing with Arizona. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Let's drop down to C, Arizona Thoroughbred Breeders Association.
Good morning, everyone. This is Wendy McCumber, the Arizona Thoroughbred Breeders Secretary and Treasurer. It's breeding and foaling season. The Arizona Thoroughbred Breeders Association just mailed out our latest magazine, which is our Stallion Directory. And this is a great opportunity to be part of this wonderful industry from the very, very beginning. If you did not receive a magazine in the mail, please feel free to come by the ATBA office and pick up a copy. Our Arizona Stallion Stakes will run on March 20th, and please check with the ATBA office to see if your horse is eligible. Thanks so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I have seen photos of some really adorable babies hitting the ground, so let's keep our fingers crossed for our future Arizona horses. Dropping down, we've covered 6D. Do we have anything on 6E, Jockeys Guild? Nothing? My apologies, I left my mic off. Let's drop down. We don't have anything from Jockeys Guild. All right, D, commission reports. Anything from my fellow commissioners on item 1, summary of current events? How about identification of matters placed on the future agenda? I think we've covered that. We will have the continuation of Turf Paradise's permit as part of our continuing agenda item for April 11th. So, of course, if anything comes up from any fellow commissioners, please feel free to email staff regarding that. Let's drop down to E, call to the public. Mr. Nolan, do you want to speak today?
Yes, Chair. I appreciate the opportunity. I certainly want to thank you for this opportunity. And
absolutely.
Okay. I also want to just bring attention to that some of us are so conditioned to logging in off the web page provided, and today it was a little more difficult because on the minutes and meeting page, it has a recording, a blank recording, when it used to have a link available. We have to go back to the download of the notice to be on, and some people have reached out to me, and I think Mr. Commissioner Padish had a problem with that at first too. We just weren't updated that we need to go in through the notice area as it has changed, at least for this meeting. With that said, I also want to thank the people that had reached out to me for noticing that I didn't speak at the last meeting. I asked if I would continue my bringing attention to the need for this awareness. Seems to be some awareness of what's going on. To me, I want to also say I'm very thankful to the commission for the 75-day continuance. It does give some certainty that we will finish this meet and not just have a problem if some of the financials or some problems exist. I think that's very important. We have an update at the next meeting, but the continuance gives certainty to the industry that this meet will continue. With that said, I still have a problem with people wanting to compliment Turf Paradise on their efforts. It's only through their negligence of 25 years that we are having all these issues. I'm not going to single out anybody in their responses, but I assure you, it is inhumane, the living conditions, especially, I'll tell you when, on a Monday morning when people go, there's not one of you commissioners that would use a bathroom on that backside. It's disgusting. They don't work. Several of them are dead bolted. The effort isn't enough. These people are making Turf Paradise the money. It's in an indirect way, but the disgusting backside is just intolerable, and it needs to be addressed. I thank Brian Duncan for his efforts to move forward. I'm going to also bring up another issue that I brought before Brian, another authority with the department concerning the property that borders 11th Avenue. It's directly across from a city park, and it looks like a dump. And right now, it is the stench of manure in our neighborhood. I have been talking about this for quite a long time. There's trucks, bulldozers moving manure. That pile of manure needs to be dealt with. It is not right for the people of this community. It is not right for the people of the industry. And why it is being allowed to happen, it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed now. I don't want to go to other authorities and try to have things closed down. This is a regulated property. That stench on certain days, cloudy days, needs to be addressed. I don't know what they're doing back there. I asked for an update. I didn't get it from the authority that I asked with the department. Hopefully that will come soon. With that said, we do see that Mr. Sims, Turf Paradise, has won the delay game, and that's good for an industry, good for the horse people that we are running. Please don't understand. It is so important to run, but these people are in slow motion. If they're making these millions of dollars a year and they don't have enough staff, the staff that they have is far marginal to what other racetracks have in a city of the size of Phoenix, Arizona. It's just not right. The blurred way people have to observe racing from the grandstand and the clubhouse through the glass that is all blurred, it's just not right. I know that the track it's not been fixed. You have issues that Brian Duncan stated. There's so many problems, and there's not enough acknowledgement of all those problems to get it done in a period that needs to be done. This is 25 years of neglect. I'm not going to continue on because I could continue and waste your time. Thank you for your opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lloyd, you've raised your hand. Do you want to make a comment before I speak? Go ahead.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is Lloyd Yother. I would like to address the notifications of the meetings. I don't know if it's me, the operator, or in general, but it seems that I'd like to ask the the department staff to check in to see if there's any way when I get a meeting notice and I click on that I will attend or participate, I lose that connection or that sign-in log. So I have trouble getting back on or getting on as it seems others have in the past. I don't know if there's any way that it can be simplified or changed from Google Meets to Team Meets or whatever it may be. I'm not a technical guy, but I have trouble getting on the meetings every commission meeting or every meeting that we have when it's on Zoom, and I don't know the reasoning for that. So I'd like them to check in to see if they could maybe even on meeting days they send out a new login, whatever it's called. If I made any sense with that, I'm having trouble with it, and I'd like to have something checked into it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I do understand exactly what you're saying. We can't go into detail because it's not an agendized item, but I acknowledge that, and we'll address that with staff, and hopefully we can have some kind of a resolution on that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Nolan, you've raised your hand. You've already spoke, but I'm going to give you 1 minute, and then we're going to go on to Dr. DiFilippo.
Thank you, Chair. I just wish to state once again, I was very adamant about why these meetings are not live.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but with that said, what Mr. Euler is saying is some people get these emails and can link on, but there's so many out here that are not getting those emails. I don't get emails, so I have to go on the way that is provided. So why are we not going live? Can that be brought back up? I've been in this industry for 35 years right here. I used to attend every meeting for over 3 decades. Now it has to be this way. This is not the right way to do it.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, it was during COVID, but we need to go back live. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And that's been addressed on why we're not, but I can't go into detail with that, but I'll be happy to email you and you and I can discuss it later. Dr. DiFilippo?
Yes, good morning, Chair and Commissioners. This is Dr. Joanne DiFilippo. I do want to state that I'm very technologically savvy, and I think it's just because we're a conditioned group of people that what happened was the links that are normally provided for the meetings are usually embedded in the agenda. This time they were not. So it threw everyone off in the sense of where do I find the link? And even that occurred to me. So what happens is when the link is provided in the agenda, you know that you can always just pull up the agenda and then either link in or the telephone number is there if you don't want to do a computer connectivity. So that might help you in the future with that. The other thing I want to bring up, and it is the condition of the restrooms on the backside. And I say this because I was in the restrooms last night prior to leaving the track at about 8 o'clock at night. And I asked both the track and the HPBA because they are paying a cleaning service to clean these bathrooms. That's not the issue there. What I noticed though is that perhaps it might be the company that's being contracted to do the cleaning, because while certain areas of the restrooms appear to be, they're generally clean. But I did take a look at the showers, and there is yes, there's aging in the bathrooms, but there's absolutely no excuse for some of the filth that could literally be removed with a bottle of Clorox. And I did ask some of the women that were in the bathroom last night how they deal with this. And they said that they bring bottles of bleach in to clean off. There's like wooden shelf where you can sit and tile on that. They clean off the bathrooms themselves before they shower. So it might very well just be a matter of having a discussion with the service that's contracted. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? I don't see any hands raised. Okay. With that, my apologies. Let me get to my agenda. With that, I believe that we can drop down to our announcements. The next regular meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Friday, April 11th via Google Meet. We will address the issue with connectivity and challenges there. Please don't hesitate to reach out to staff if you have any questions about how to reach the link or any challenges that you're having prior to the meeting, they're available to you. You can also reach out to me. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Thank you. First and a second, Anna?
Thank you. With the motion by Commissioner Coolidge and a second by Vice Chair Olson, I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker,
Yes.
Commissioner Parrish.
Yes.
Thank you. It is now 11:15 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. If everyone can please exit the meeting.
Thank you, everyone.